They are among some of our most recognized shopping centers.
We used to hang out a lot in Sim Lim Square when we were in our secondary school days.
The whole building itself speaks artistic culture, man.
Once the grand dams of our retail sector, they are today living monuments of a bygone era.
I would think twice about coming to Sim Lim after whatever has happened regarding the scam.
It is a pity to really see an icon of this building to be lost within this era itself.
Can they withstand the winds of change?
We used to hang out a lot in Sim Lim Square when we were in our secondary school days. So I've always been very fascinated by the architecture of this building and also the life that you find inside this building.
I study at LaSalle College of the Arts and I come to Sim Lim about once a week with my friends. Sim Lim is known for tech stuff, obviously. Like if your computer needs fixing, you need to bring down your computer and get the parts down here. Or if you suddenly need some of the musical instruments, or you could get it here as well.
I only come to Sim Lim when I couldn't find the things online. So when I want to buy things in bulk, I can come here and bargain for it. Yeah. Some are a bit overpriced, but if you talk to the staff more, they will give you a discount.
All the equipments are spilled out into the circulation spaces. Over there, you get to see computer monitors display. You see crowds here waiting to get their phones repaired. So this is one of the unique features of strata malls, where it seems a bit messy, but actually is very unique as compared to newer malls, which are much more, in my opinion, more regimented, much cleaner, but maybe less fun. I believe that most of the shops are here since day one. Song Brothers is a shop that sells a lot of electronic equipment. I think it was very popular in the past. That's where I go to get my camera, my very first digital camera with 3 megapixels resolution. So the shops in Sim Lim Square are mainly run by men, but with a few exceptions, such as Zeppelin, which is run by the daughter of Song Brothers, and also there's a mobile phone repair shop that's run by Pauline, which is located on the 5th story.
Started here when I was really young. It was Sim Lim Square in the 80s, for sure. I started by following my dad, just walking around. He's the owner of Song Brothers. I was with the airline, part of the cabin crew, for 8 years. And when I decided to join my dad in his business in Sim Lim Square, I remember the first day of work where I was actually right in front of the building, and I just sighed. I couldn't contain the emotions because from that, leaving the airline from the most beautiful places on earth, London, Paris, Tokyo, everywhere, the experience, and coming to this. The only thing I could think of was it was a crash landing. Yeah. I decided to run a cafe, like an audio cafe. I thought that that would be a really interesting idea for Sim Lim Square to have something very current, really relevant, and to do it my way. But so I got excited, and I took all these inspirations that I drew from my years of traveling, and I decided to put it into one space. I drew up this concept, I showed it to my dad, and talked him through, but why we have to put a door and have it in a more boutique shop style.
Most of the shop you can see here is very open, with a roller shutter open up and people just walk in and walk out, easily. Well, her concept is basically enclosed, which means that it walls up everything. left only one door to just push in.
He didn't like the idea that there was a door because people might not come in a Sim Lim Square. It also looked out of place. But I took him all over Singapore and I showed, look, this place has a door, this place has a door. It's fine. And he saw my excitement and it kind of like was contagious. So he felt it and he said, yeah, maybe.
Most of the shops in Sim Lim do not have a door, but Zeppelin has a door. And I think that does prevent maybe some people from coming in because firstly it's a bit hard to find the entrance because it's surrounded by a big wall and then there's only one small door. But I think that's fine because it is after all a specialty shop.
We had to come up with a name. And I thought, okay, retail is at rock bottom. There's nothing much left. It's kind of post-war. It's a bit, everything is dead and you have to create again. How do you revive something that is dead? So I thought about something that was also tied to music. So I did think about Zeppelin, which is like from Led Zeppelin actually. But that was just as a sub-idea. The main thing was also that Zeppelin was an aircraft. And I was watching a war documentary and they had this Zeppelin just flying up. And I thought it symbolizes like hope. It symbolizes something beautiful. And that was exactly why I wanted to name this place Zeppelin.
Sim Lim Square bid the place in 1983. So we bought 2 units here and we started here since day one because it's a strata title and it's a mixture of the product here. But most of them are electronic. More and more people come here and to buy the electronic products. So there, the whole mall become vibrant. And after 5 to 10 years, Sim Lim Square was well known throughout the whole world. There are a lot of tourists came down to this building actually to buy, and the price here is competitive.
Hello.
Hello, hi.
How are you?
How are you?
Good to see you.
How's the day?
Oh, so far so good.
Kristy, when she was small, I think she is quite active and able to speak well. So thereafter, I decided to let her try to do some sales in Song Brothers.
I've seen you work with the camera. It's amazing.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Is the grip good?
The grip is good. It seems like it's a little more subtle than last time. I think the grip was a little bit bigger before.
Right.
And that's okay.
Normally, the sales people are all male. You hardly find a female sales girl in Sim Lim Square.
That was very different, and when I worked with my dad and the whole industry was just so male dominated, which means perhaps you have to go out, you have to have a beer, you have to talk golf, and everyone just thought like, oh, you must be in this business because of your dad. This was so tough, and he wasn't exactly the most lenient boss. He didn't give me any preferential treatment at all. How about this one? This is a new range. Okay.
Since Kristy decided to run the business in Sim Lim Square, so we will be discussing on the level 2 to run the audio cafe. So I give her the 3 units, but it's not for free. So I told her very seriously that if she wants to run the business, she has to think it very carefully and have to pay the rent. And she has to learn how to run a business and make her own way to be a successful businesswoman.
I start Mobile City at 2015 and I'm Malaysian, come from Sarawak. I started from the scratch. At first, I'm just selling a mobile phone and accessories. Because of the thin margin and very competitive in this Sim Lim Square, that's why I decided to convert to mobile repairing business. Okay, bye-bye. So I start to hiring professional skilled person from overseas and purchase all the raw material from China. Because I'm Malaysian, we lack of the capital. I cannot get a grant from government. So I borrow money from my family when I start the business. It's very tough for me. As a working woman, a lot of people think be a boss is very easy. Just talk only, then ordering the staff to do it. But for myself, I like to hands-on. For me, I feel be a boss, I need to put more effort, like 100% more than the staff. I need to think marketing, operation, how to improve it, purchasing from overseas. All this is handling by myself. And pricing, costing, everything is handling by me. I also struggling a lot because I cannot balance out my family and business. Yeah, correct. This one is a plus sign also.
4 plus 3, wow.
I sacrifice my weekends. I work here. That's why I need to bring them to office to spend more time on them. Sometimes I bring a home cook to make sure they eat. Then after that, finish their homework. Then I can start to do my work again. Yeah. Plus sign. We have very less walk-in customer. So how do I survive it? We find the customer from like Facebook, Carousel. We do a lot of promotion on this thing. And we introduce our service, repairing service, which another shop cannot do it. Only we have the professional expertise here. So we have a regular customer. They will introduce their friends to come and look for us. Then the other thing is we have our regular dealer. So they will send in the fund for us. So here we survive and earn the margin.
People's impression of Sim Lim are usually not very good. Yeah, because they usually jack up the price and rip off tourists. Yeah.
When I came into the business, it was the reputation of the building that was really at play. Like the whole Jova Chill incident happened at that time. So I knew that there was really bad press and like people were talking about how that incident of scamming happened.
Yeah, the Jova Chill incident started on 2014. He been cheated, and his partner cheated the customer around 26%.
After the Jova Chill incident, it really brought the name of Sim Lim down even further. I think it made people distrust the ability to buy products from shop owners in Sim Lim.
Sim Lim Square business is dropping a lot. Then don't even have customer there to come in to Sim Lim Square.
I have heard some bad stories about Sim Lim, unfortunately, because I think definitely it's not all the shops here. It's just a few shops that, gives the whole mall a bad name, which is quite unfortunate.
So I decide to be very honest and sincere to my customer, never cheating. So give the honest service and reasonable price. I can unlock the things, but after I do it, you cannot use the SIM card.
I don't use SIM
It's just the Wi-Fi only.
Wi-Fi only, yeah.
Okay. Customer bring in the handset, we will open up and check for them in front of them. They can ask any question. We'll give them the explanations. It's different from the online business because online business you don't have this direct interaction. So in here, we will explain to them nicely until they understand everything.
So I think in every country there are malls like Sim Lim that cater to all the tech needs, that has concentration of all these tech shops in one place so that you can just go there and get all the things done. Definitely, I think having a shop like this helps to attract a younger crowd to Sim Lim.
This whole space is kind of like the second place I've designed, apart from Zeppelin, that kind of unique boutique feel in Sim Lim Square. The whole look and feel of this boutique is completely in contrast to the outside. The whole noise, the music, the neon lights, the people. To me, it's the most magical for photography. And that's actually why I saved the concept for Song Brothers. Everything becomes quiet in this space. It's sort of like that moment where you click a shutter and you stop breathing for that little bit. There is a difference between destroying to recreate, which is to tear down the whole building and make something new out of it, and discarding something that is old. Sometimes when you work with an old building like Sim Lim Square, then you really get creative with it because you don't have to get anything approved where how your door sits or what color should be your wall, and you can just be full-blown into your creativity and have a lot of fun while you're building your business. That should be the way.
So Kristy is also who's the owner of Zeppelin & Co. She's very big on music, so she brings down musicians every couple of months as a part of performance series called Cicada Place, just to bring down people who are interested in music, similar interests, and just have a cool jamming session and in a very cozy place.
A lot of jazz musicians are actually saying since Blue Jazz Cafe's license kind of got taken away, there are very few spots in Singapore where you sit down, you pay for a jazz ticket, and then you just enjoy the night and you listen to live music. So this is the first time we have anything that is contemporary, current pop covers. Before that, we did a lot of acoustic sounds like jazz, like duo, trios, less amplified. But today is going to be really fun because we had this discussion with Jung, and he wanted to do something that is current.
There's no reason to come here other than if your Mac goes wrong, technical problems. But now that Zep is here, it's got all the reason to come to Sim Lim. Just to have something that's right beside your school. It become like my hangout place.
We are thinking that this will inspire the other tenants here to change their concept and their mindset into a new lifestyle, more acceptable for the young people to visit and to buy the electronic product here. Now, Sim Lim Square is becoming the only electronic mall in the whole Singapore. Until today, actually, we still can see many tourists to come to Sim Lim Square and buy their electronic product. I'm quite sad that there is an en bloc going on. I personally don't agree, and I don't like to sell the units that I own here.
Mobile City been spending 4 years here. So we built a lot of customer base here. If en bloc, we will lose a lot of regular customer. Yeah, by personally, I want en bloc because I want to move on from here. Here is too competitive and reputation not that good. And don't have a lot of marketing support or event support from the management. So it's very hard for us to run the business here. And the rental here is more costly if compared to outside. So it's very hard for us to survive.
So in order for Sim Lim Square to stay afloat, they need a new form of business that can complement the existing ones. So learning from overseas, some of the overseas examples of successful transformation of similar strata malls in places like South Korea and Seoul, what's crucial is for the old and new business owners to work together and to merge both the production and the sales together.
Prefer your earphones to be more warm or more cool? Okay, cool. Okay. I had the the best place. I was so happy to be in a mall. I think I'm in a perfect quirky little building like next to LaSalle School of Arts, perfect in central Singapore. I had trains, I had a shelter when it was raining, like to come into the building, and we had people who understood gadgets, and it was just a perfect triangular space for me. But to relocate, that would bring about a lot of other considerations that I'm probably not ready for. It's a young business and I'm still learning the ropes.
I'm gonna plug this in.
I love this place. I have a passion in Sim Lim Square because I have been here for more than 30 years. I brought up all my kids when I was here.
I think a lot of Singaporeans have good memories spent at Sim Lim, and I know how it feels like to have somewhere that you have had good memories with go away. And so I hope that Sim Lim stays up for a bit longer.